Let's see.
But 3, 2, 1. So now we're on air.
Okay.
Right, ready? Guys, ready?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. My name is Helen, so I'm your host. And here's Tosh-san. Tosh-san, he's our co-host. Hello, Tosh-san.
Hello, I'm Toshi.
Hello, and we're
Nice to meet
having...
you.
Nice to meet you. And we're having 2 special guests, Swedish
Yes.
guests. So could you guys introduce yourselves?
Yeah. Hello.
Hello,
Adam, go first.
Alright,
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm Adam. I'm Swedish,
Hello.
of course. So, hi everyone.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys from Sweden?
Yeah.
From Sweden, yes.
Sweden.
For
Okay.
Sweden.
Right.
Okay, so all of us like non-native speakers or
Non-native speakers.
ESL learners, English as a second language learners.
Mm-hmm.
And like in the world, there's so many people learning English, and I think we are all struggling together to learn English as a foreign language, right?
Right.
So today we'd like to just to share the difficulties we have as English learners. So, well, first thing I want to say about this is like, I'm Japanese, right? And so many Japanese people are, like so shy. And they are so afraid of making mistakes in speaking English. That's one reason why a lot of Japanese people struggle in speaking English. But do they have the same problem in your country?
In Sweden, most people can already speak English quite well. But I think still a lot of people have problems with, they still have a quite Swedish accent. So most people, I think, is a bit shy to speak in English. They don't want to embarrass themselves.
Oh, sounds like
So-
us.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's not true for everyone. I think it's very different from person to person, but...
But most people understand English. Like maybe 50 years and below, they all get it. So even my
So-
grandparents can understand bits of it, but they can't speak it very well.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, like, you've been in Japan for a little while, right? Both of you guys. And
Yeah.
maybe, like, do you think that the people in Japan probably speak less English than Swedish people?
Yeah, they do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, okay,
Yes.
but English to all of us, it's a foreign language. And what
Yeah.
makes Swedish people speak better English than Japanese people? Why is it? I want to know.
Toshan is a very good question. So,
Yeah,
Yes.
I think Adam should go first.
All right. Well, first of all, English and Swedish are very closely related, like language-wise. They're both Germanic. They share a lot of vocabulary. The grammar is very similar. It just makes it easier. Also, you could say that both of them are also in, I guess you could call it the Western world. They're both influenced a lot by America. We watch a lot of American movies. We get influence from that all the time. The it's in the culture as well. So that's a big reason also, I think.
And I also think we use a lot of English in our everyday life, because like a lot of times when I look for information on the internet, I always search in English. Well, most of the times, because there's a lot more information available in English than in Swedish. So I always look for English information.
that's good. That's good. So before we start the conversation, so I would like to introduce what we're gonna do and what the program is. This.
Okay.
So since this is our very first broadcasting, so nobody knows who we are and what we're gonna do and what we're gonna talk about today. So first, this is English Hours. So as Tosan said, so English language is our second language, and there are so many English learners in the world. And the reason I made this program is to encourage English learners all over the world to, so make things happen and keep moving on and changing, something for the better. So as Tosan said just now, so there are so many English learners, even in Japan, and most of them are shy. they try to avoid making mistakes in a conversation. And Torsten and I met before, and we hit it off, and ended up starting this program to encourage and inspire, English learners. And so that's why this is English Hours. English is ours, mine. So, English language is not just for native speakers, but also for non-native speakers.
Yeah, it's like we can own English too.
Right, we can
Yeah, exactly.
We can own. So that's why this program is designed, just for non-native speakers, those who really want to be able to speak English. That's why I just made this program, and that's the reason I invited you guys to this program. And Torsten and I, we're going to do this program on every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Japan time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, we're broadcasting to the world. We're not focusing on just Japanese people.
Yeah.
But also, all English learners in the world.
People in the world watching us.
Yeah.
Feels scary.
Must be in the future. There's so many, there's so many non-native speakers in the world. So
yeah, there is.
Join us, and those interested in joining us, just anytime they can join us. And so guys, some people must be watching us and must be interested in joining us. Just leave your comment on the comment section and leave your contact list or information, something. I'm gonna get in touch with you, and just join us next time, anytime. Right. So that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Right. And Toshi, could you introduce yourself? Just briefly, if it's okay.
I'm Toshi. I'm an English teacher in Japan.
And
I was born and raised here. I'm like 100% Japanese, and English is my second language. And so I know how hard it is for, including me, the Japanese people, to learn to speak English. But I'm just, doing my best every day to help my students learn English. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. So how about Adam?
Me?
So what the hardest part of learning English or speaking English in a daily life?
Oh gosh. Well, I don't really know anymore, but sometimes I catch myself using the wrong tense when I conjugate verbs. The most common one is which one is it? Shoes. Instead of using the past tense shows, I still say shoes, so it comes out a bit wrong. It's I do it all the time, and I know I do it, but I can't stop doing it. So.
Right, those are called a regular verb.
That's how I feel. It happens to everyone.
Yeah.
Anytime.
But see, I used to work in America, and working with many people from different countries, and I was working with this Indian guy one time, and his English is very fluent, yet he has very thick Indian accent. And sometimes he seemed to make some mistakes in grammar, like you said, in a past tense, but he didn't seem to care. Yeah, right. And I guess probably other Indian people the same. Maybe there are many people there speaking out with their own English, not caring so much about making mistakes. But Adam, you still sometimes kind of struggle in.
Yeah, I let it slip sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's a time I used to care a lot. But after I realized that I can still communicate with the people using keywords, yeah, and I figured maybe it's okay. I can just speak out with a bad English and stuff.
I realize when I do it, but I don't really try to correct myself afterwards or anything. It's I did that thing again, but then I just don't care. People still get what I say, so.
Yeah, it was the same for me. I used to care a lot, but now I just no, it's all right. They can still understand what I'm saying. So
it's right.
Yeah.
Josen, can I ask a question?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you must have so many experiences. So in such, so just you said. So what's the difference between those who are very careful, about making mistakes, and those who are not?
I think it's a priority.
Priority.
So those, for example, I used to work in America. I used to work with the engineers, and the engineers are like, all they wanted to do is to communicate with the people. So I was working with like civil engineers, and I had the Japanese engineers and American engineers working in the same factory. And one time I had to be there as an interpreter. But those engineers didn't really care. Like, they still know a lot of the technical terms in English, right? Like lots of engineering technical terms are in English anyway.
They have a lot in common.
Yes, they have a lot in common, and they have a lot of common knowledge as well.
Right.
So they share many technical terms, and they share a lot of background knowledge. So sometimes without using like sentences, using only keywords, they could still communicate.
Right.
And sometimes just gesture and pointing some parts of the machine. They're like, So
easy to understand.
Right. So to answer your question, well, I think the priority, because of those engineers that I was working with, they just wanted to communicate. Even if they might sound awkward language-wise, but they just didn't care because all they want to do is just, communicate. So, but some people just do care about mistakes, right? And they just want to make perfect sentences. And for those people, I think the priority is how they sound.
Oh, right.
So that's what makes the difference, in my opinion.
Right. How I can make myself understood in a conversation.
Yes.
Or how I am sounding to other people in a conversation.
Yes. And also I think that some people care too much about how they sound to other people. So if you're speaking broken English, and you would think that other people probably they think that I'm uneducated or something, and that is often the case with the Japanese people. I think so. Yeah, culturally also, like it's very.
But I think
Go ahead.
I think it depends on who you're talking to. Like if you would talk to like the president of the United States, you would try to speak really grammatically correct, right? So I think it depends a lot on who you're talking to.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Also, like when I speak English in front of my students, they kind of demonstrate, and I feel like I have to be like perfect.
Right. You cannot speak any like broken English words in front of your students, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the top priority matters, and what you care about really matters.
Yeah.
And who to talk and what to talk about.
Yeah. So, Selen-san, I have a question.
Right, for me.
Yes.
Right.
So now you can speak English, but like of course you were born and raised in Japan too. What difficulty did you have in learning to speak English when you're a beginner?
So first I started learning English about 5 years ago in Japan, and I've never been abroad to study English.
Okay, so you started studying 5 years ago?
Yeah, I just taught myself.
Okay.
And the first thing that I tried to do in the past is to create some occasions and opportunities to be exposed to English conversations. That's why I didn't want to be shy in front of people. I just wanted to communicate, as Tosen said just now. I just really want to communicate with people, and I wanted to be able to speak English. to make things happen and to communicate with someone. So I didn't care about making any mistakes in a conversation. But sometimes, of course, I care. But now, so one thing that I realized in my experiences is that the most important thing is, try to express what you're thinking about and what you're trying to say to someone right in front of you. So if you have some specific strong feelings, you might want to express that feelings, and you might want to say, and you might want to explain.
Oh, so
what's
you mean
happening.
like a stressed keywords? Like a stress keywords, like you're saying that it's important to emphasize important words.
Oh, that's another important thing.
Okay, right.
But the thing is, we have to do what we can do in its all aspects. So just speaking is not enough, I think. That might be enough to get by in the daily life, but might not be enough to take yourself to the next level. So doing many things and doing what you can do at the same time is the most important thing, I think. And be brave, and just the way you are. Be brave and don't hesitate. And,
right.
Yeah.
that's my philosophy
Okay.
when it comes to speaking English.
So now, like we are all talking to kind of find the problem the ESL learners have and find out how to solve it, right?
Right, mentally.
So now I think the one problem we are seeing here is like how we can encourage people to speak out with their English, right?
Yes.
And I'm always struggling in this. I keep telling my students that, hey, it's okay, you can speak broken English. It's okay to make mistakes. We don't care, but still they tend to be shy. And how do you think I can, is there anything I can do better to, get them to speak more like actively? Any opinion?
That's also really hard.
Yeah. But I think like one thing you can say is like when you can speak English and understand English, it's like opens a new world. Like there's so many things you can see when you understand when you can speak or understand English. So I think that's one thing you can say to your students.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like it's a benefit. What benefit they get out of speaking English?
Yeah, exactly. More like just saying you don't have to be afraid to make a fool out of yourself. Just saying like, what can you, if you can speak English, and like what can like benefits. I think that's more encouraging to people to like know what benefits there is.
I see. So like instead of like if you make mistakes and
it's okay, but
no, it's like okay, instead of like kind of a okay, you made a mistake. You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say this, like this, or instead of that, you should tell them the benefit, out of speaking English, right? So focus on positive.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Right. Yeah, it must have a positive impact on that people.
Yeah.
Yes,
if you can speak English, that can open up the new door to your future. So then
instead of just saying like
right.
But instead of just saying you shouldn't be afraid of speaking English and speak out with your own voice. A lot of people might think like, why should I do it? Like, what benefits is it? So I think it's very important to emphasize the benefits of speaking English.
And also it's important to have the students experience the benefits. Right. So it's easy to tell them like, hey, it's nice, and just speak out with your English, and it's something that's going to happen to you. But if you can make them experience it, this is what it is like to communicate with the people in English, and it feels great. So in Japanese schools, unfortunately, like in English classroom, English teacher is only one person that speaks English, right?
Yeah.
And there's no like people from other country that don't know Japanese at all.
Yeah.
Which would force them to speak English only, but there's a lack of opportunity to communicate using English with the people is a big problem in Japan. So people don't have opportunity to, like you said, to have this benefit out of using English. So they just don't have a good, what is it, like they just cannot be, I think, active and positive about using English.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And they never understand, so how they can benefit from being able to speak English in conversation. So
I guess you don't really need English that much in daily life here. So everything is in Japanese and it all works fine, so you don't really need to have that ability to...
That's another big issue.
Yeah, like in Japan, I heard this is one of the most homogeneous in a country, in the world. Probably more than 95% of people living in Japan are like ethnically Japanese people. Right?
As of right now, 2016.
Yeah, we're in a big, like only one language community.
Homogeneous country.
Yeah. So
we can communicate without it.
Right. So I don't know, I feel like as an English teacher, I should be able to set up the environment where, somehow all the students are forced to speak English only.
Yeah.
And when you deal with the people who know your language, I mean, when you talk to the people from same country, you're spoiled, So when I have my students, all the Japanese students, practice English, right, with each other, and, they just try first for like a few minutes, and they just kind of start laughing at hey, just why don't we speak English? And they just in Japanese, and they switch back to Japanese, Yeah.
But I actually had like the same problem in like middle school in Sweden. Like when you spoke like English conversation in school, and it was like, why are we speaking English? We can speak Swedish.
Oh,
so most of us started. Yeah, exactly. Because and I felt like my English at that time, it was so like Swedish like English, so it felt very embarrassing speaking. So at that time, I just went back to speaking Swedish. But it was in, I think, middle school, elementary school. So
yeah, I think so. Everyone is on the same page.
Yeah.
There's so many people like them.
So wait a minute. So people in the country all speak in your language, right? They don't really use English in daily life.
No, not when talking to each other and stuff like that. So.
But why can't you speak English so well?
Good question.
Tell us the tips.
See?
We don't speak English with other people. We hear a lot of English, like a lot of things on TVs in English, and a lot when we go online on internet. It's like most of it is in English, but.
Like, for example, in Japan, when you go to the movies or if you watch a Western movie on TV, which language are they usually in?
Japanese.
Yes, dubbed Japanese.
Yeah.
Well, in Sweden we don't dub movies or anything. Nothing is dubbed. So
only Disney.
Yeah, well, Disney. That's because the kids are supposed to understand it, but other than that, no dubs.
Oh, wait. So in your country, are you saying that, for example, when kids watch Disney movies and they enjoy them in English?
Well, depending on the age, but there are dubbed movies, but when they get older, they usually switch to English.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. That's a big difference. Huh.
Wow. So in Sweden, those who don't understand English cannot enjoy like such kind of movies.
Well,
no.
Oh my god, I don't know that.
Maybe a little bit. I don't know.
I mean, here in Japan, it's so common. I mean, it's normal to have a Japanese captions, subtitles. Yeah, to watch foreign movies, and I think, wow, so that's a big difference.
Right, we don't need to, understand English language itself. Because we can enjoy.
But usually in Sweden, they always have subtitles.
Subtitles.
So you can, but still most people just don't care about subtitles and just watch the movies in English. So.
That's a big difference.
That's my opinion. So.
But like studying English as a subject, right, in school, and why can't they just suddenly start enjoying movies in English? Because here in Japan, okay, I would say this, and as a normal Japanese citizen, I think you know what I mean. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Most like a normal Japanese people, after learning English for many years in the school, I don't think they can like enjoy the Hollywood movies, Disney animes, only in English. Like we must have English subtitles.
It's still hard for me.
Yeah, it's still hard for me too. It's difficult for us.
Right.
What's difficult for me?
What's the key to success?
Yeah. So I think that one reason is because, like Rebecca said, the Swedish language is very close to English language, right? Which makes it easier for them to, like, they share many common words.
Yeah.
We have a lot of cognates. The grammar is very similar.
All right, so I have a question. How do you say good morning in Swedish?
God morgon.
See?
That sounds similar.
And for example, hand is hand.
You mean hands?
Yeah, hand.
Oh, really?
Foot.
That's why there's so many different from
Usually you can just get a Swedish word by just slightly alter the pronunciation of the English word, so...
Yeah, exactly.
So...
But, yeah.
So you can probably, like, if there's any... If you can't, like, find the English word, I mean, if you don't know how to say certain thing in English, you can probably try saying the Swedish word already, and it probably works out.
Yeah, but sometimes it's really bad.
But sometimes
you can do that.
That'll work out. It's a kind of like beneficial.
Yeah.
Language benefit.
Yeah. So okay. Is there any other reason why it seems to be easier for like Swedish people to learn English? I understand that language is very close, but can you think of any other reason? Well, because Japanese is far from English anyway. There's nothing we can do about it.
So how about the immigrants? How about the immigrants in Sweden? There must be more chances, than in Japan.
Yeah.
Communicate with.
I think some of them can't speak English at all. Some of the immigrants, because right now most of them are from Syria, so I don't think everyone can speak English in Syria. So.
No, they just learn Swedish, and I don't think they learn English afterwards. Most of them.
Yeah, but I think also in Sweden we start learning English quite early. I think like when I was like 6 or 7, we started learning with like colors.
Yeah.
And like easy English, and then just went from there. But like, when do you start learning English in Japan? Is it middle school?
That depends on the generation, but typically, Susan can come up with.
I mean,
specific answer.
Well, when I was a kid, I mean, in my generation, like it's like 12. It's a middle school. And,
12.
Yeah, right. So that like no one was. I had no chance to study English at all at school. So when I went to move on to middle school, and for the first time I learned English in my life, but I think right now they're teaching English in elementary school. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know when they started it exactly, but yeah, it's been a while.
Generally speaking,
they started.
They start at 4th or 5th grade, I think.
Oh, in Japan.
In Japan.
Yeah.
So, but in my case, I started learning in school when I was a junior high school student, which means when I was 13 years old.
Okay. Yeah, same here. I think I think we're in the same generation.
Yeah.
So. Right. So.
So maybe, but what they in in your country, Sweden, they are teaching English in elementary school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do they teach there?
And how?
What English? Yeah, and how do they teach English there?
Well, they start with all the simple things like, I don't know, colors, animals, very simple sentences, and then they just move on from there, I guess. It's been a long time since I went to elementary school, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So like there's no English tests. It sounds like it's fun, like
Well, there are English tests, but there are tests, but not very hard, I think.
Okay.
Focusing on communication.
Yeah, but for example, like a bit later, but in high school, like we didn't have much of a test. We only had like 1 or 2 tests, but like we had to write things, like not tests like ABC, but we had to write our own things. So like you read a book and then you wrote about the book in like an essay.
Okay.
So you had a lot more like writing with your own words and stuff like that.
But do they
when we were in high school.
Do they have a communication class?
Well,
no, not really.
Not really.
In my case, the entire English course in high school was actually focused on communication, so I guess it might differ from school to school.
Yeah.
Like we did nothing but speak.
But we had speeches, but we didn't really have like conversations.
We had
maybe once or twice, but I don't remember much of it.
We had a discussion. I remember it quite clearly about whether it would be better for students to go to school in the afternoon or in the mornings, and we had a discussion with everyone in the class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you had a discussion class in high school?
Yeah, and we did that fairly often.
But anyway, so it seems like you guys, so Swedish people have much more experiences,
maybe
than we have in Japan.
Yeah, maybe.
Do they, did the teachers push you guys to be exposed in, to the conversation, or push you guys like speak or express your feelings?
Well,
like giving a speech in front of people.
Yeah, I had a lot of speeches, and you had to write like an essay or something like that, and then you had to write a lot of like your own thoughts. So we had a lot of that in my high school. But...
Interesting.
Right. Right. Well, so like, what do you think? In Japan, English, like as examination, like TOEIC, examination like a TOEIC, a TOEFL, or Aiken, or even like an entrance examination to schools. They're like a highly commercialized.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and people just want to like make high scores on examinations, and they don't really care about getting a communication skill.
Yeah. But isn't there like one test now lately, like when you had to talk, like TOEIC? Or...
Oh yeah, there's a examination called a TEEP. TEEP. Yes. So it's
TEAP.
Yeah, TEAP, and it's I'm not sure about what they really do, but it's one of the things you have to do to take the examination is like speaking. You have to demonstrate your speaking skill, and once you make the score on TEEP, that examination, you can submit it to the college you're applying for. Yeah, and you can use it as you don't have to take the regular English examination once you do that. Yeah, but it's not mandatory, so you can still take the traditional English paper examination if you want to. So it's not like a mandatory test you have to take to get into college. But at least some colleges in Japan, they started adopting the examination that involves speaking as well. So
the situation is changing.
Yes, it's
time
changing.
Goes by.
Yeah.
But still slow.
Yeah.
And at the same time, that must discourage some people to be able to speak English. Right.
So, so I think to make kind of a for kind of a wrap up, I would say first.
Are you gonna wrap it up?
Okay, if you want to wrap it up, yeah, please, please.
Okay.
Maybe you can do it better.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So, first, the reason why it's difficult for me, for us, I mean, for most of Japanese people to learn to speak English is because Japanese is very far language from English, and also this lack of opportunity to use English. And what they're teaching in school is just test-taking strategy, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I agree with you.
Okay, so that being said, what is the solution?
Yeah.
This problem.
Yeah, so because in this
English hours is the key to success.
Yeah. In this program, what we do is just find the problem and try to solve the problem. At least talk about the problem.
Yeah.
Right. So I think So getting back what Toshan said just now. So the reason I made this program is encourage people, so we can share our experiences and stories, and to encourage people. So people who might be shy in front of people, but at the same time who might be able to speak English. There's so many people like them. So we should encourage, and so that's why. So this is designed just for non-native speakers. So there's no native speakers in this program. So everybody can watch non-native speakers communicating each other, and in English and with English. So that's what I wanted to create.
I have one suggestion. Okay. I have one suggestion.
Okay.
That at least like people like us, we should always, kind of be speaking out with our English all the time. And we do make mistakes sometimes, and we do probably have some difficulties in communication sometimes. But who cares? And if you don't care, and other people gonna just watch us speak in English like we do, and they might start feeling that, hey, it's okay to make mistakes. Why don't we just go ahead and do it too? Stuff. So so I think the demonstrating is important. One important thing we can do.
Right.
To encourage people.
Yeah, we have to show ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Communicating. In public.
I remember when I was in junior high school, there's a Japanese English teacher in the classroom, and there's we call him ALT, the English teacher from foreign countries, Australian guy. But I liked the English teacher. He was a really nice guy, and he was really good at teaching grammar, and I respect him. But one thing was he didn't really speak English in front of the students. I don't know why. So he was not really demonstrating. And I don't know why. So
Right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So that's why as a teacher, what I'm trying to do these days is I try to use as much English as I can, even when I teach beginners. And I try to speak very slowly. And when I have ALT teacher, I mean kind of assistant teacher from other countries, and I try to communicate with them in English in front of students. And so what I always do is just kind of just demonstrate,
Yeah.
So that's one suggestion as a solution to this problem.
Right.
From me.
So this program can be one of the solutions, I think. So I wanted to create the place where non-native speakers and English learners can get together and watch many people communicating with each other and speaking English and talking about some specific topics in English with passion.
Yeah.
So that might encourage people.
Yeah. So in Tokyo, there are many meetup groups. Meetup. like these days you can find lots of like international parties or international get-together online on the internet.
Yeah.
So like you can join those communities to practice English or make friends with people from other countries, right?
Unless that person is shy, right?
Yeah.
Unless the person is shy. So
yeah,
that's
it might
why.
be hard, but.
So anybody, anyone can join anything, as long as that person is not shy.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's the biggest reason.
But I think, like, for me, I'm a quite shy person, but still, like, just have the courage when you're shy to just go out and meet people. I think that's very important, and that's helped me a lot.
Yeah.
So even shy people can do it. That's what I want to say.
Yeah. So I think that if you have an outgoing personality and you are naturally a talkative person, that's a big advantage, in learning a foreign language. It's like you can naturally practice, Yeah. So maybe the change in the personality is one thing you could do, but it's not easy. Change in personality, wow, it's like
takes a lifetime.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Takes a lifetime. Next life. Right.
So luckily, I don't know if I'm really shy or not, but luckily I think I'm outgoing. I like talking. I'm a talkative person. In Japanese too.
Yeah.
So I think that made it easier for me to learn English, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, here we go. This is another suggestion as a solution to the problem. Change your personality.
That might actually be harder than learning English itself.
How about you guys?
We're brainstorming.
Adam, how about your characteristic or personality? Adam?
Well, I'm also very shy, I guess, like most Swedish people, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Adam, like you be in Japan for like a year now.
Yeah,
but I think you're already speaking pretty good Japanese, and how I don't know how do you learn Japanese?
Well.
And from who did you learn?
I think my teachers are pretty good, so that's probably one of the reasons.
Do you go to school?
Yeah, it's a language school.
So how does your teacher teach you Japanese? So you now you can communicate, right?
Yeah.
In Japanese, and so in a school environment, you acquired this communication skill in Japanese. And how did you do that? Because I think it's really hard to get that in school only.
Yeah, I'm not really sure myself how it worked out, but like my teachers only speak Japanese. There's absolutely no other language in the classroom.
Right.
So that might have helped, and it has been like that from day one. So even back then it was just like, maybe just colors, just like greetings, simple sentences, and then it evolves step by step. And now I can speak pretty good.
Right. So like you're forced to listen to Japanese all the time.
Also, sometimes we have like, they call them volunteers. You have Japanese people actually coming in and holding conversations with us. So that also helps, I think, if you can actually get to speak to a native speaker. Try to hold a conversation with them.
Okay. So your teachers speak in Japanese all the time, and you have some volunteer Japanese people. So it sounds like your school already is the community of Japanese language.
Yes.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the belonging to a community is important.
Yeah.
Where people speak it. Yeah, the target language.
And when it comes to like a personality in the society.
Yeah.
You can feel, so you're part of the community and the society. that makes you like feel relaxed and easy to be exposed to the society.
Yeah.
And actually, so it seems like we're running out of time. And and one thing that I wanted to do today with you guys is to share your experience, and especially the most embarrassing story in your life.
Most embarrassing life.
I will do. I wanted you
most embarrassing
guys
thing.
to share. What was the most embarrassing experience in the past, in English or with English? If you can come up with something you can share before ending this program.
That's hard.
It's a hard one.
No preparation. I think none of us.
Did anyone have a very embarrassing story in public or in the in front of the audience, or like huge?
I actually have a really embarrassing story, but it's in Japanese. It's in Japanese,
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Okay. So I was with a friend near Tokyo at Christmas. Then I was going to ask a guy to take me and my picture, and instead of like thinking, can you take a picture for us? I said, can I take your picture? And he was like with his girlfriend, like next to him, but it was so embarrassing. So when you learn a new language, you will do a lot of like embarrassing. You will embarrass yourself a lot, maybe.
So
that was very embarrassing.
I think I did before.
It was like, what? But I like held my camera too, so he probably understood. Like our foreigners, so like he could like she probably just made a mistake in Japanese. Yeah. But first he looked a bit shocked, but yeah.
Complicating.
So
how about Adam? Do you have any?
I don't think so actually. Like I can't think of anything.
Well, no embarrassing mistakes in a conversation.
No. Not that I can think of. If there are any, then I probably just try to forget them. Like, they're in here somewhere, but I can't find them right now.
Okay, another suggestion for the solution. If you make mistake, just forget it.
Yeah, it's important. But
right.
for this program, I'd like you to remember.
Yeah.
Right. It's important for us.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say is that everybody can make mistakes in any situation. So it's okay to be different. It's okay to be, wrong. Nothing is wrong with that. With making mistakes in a conversation in daily life. So anyone, all of us can make mistakes in any situations. So that's why I wanted to share like some stories with viewers in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's nice to share the experiences like making mistakes, especially because many people like they're just sometimes they feel like maybe they are the only people who make mistakes, and they want to hide it, right? But when you get to share the experiences of making mistakes with other people, and you think that, oh, okay, I'm not the only one who has the same problem, we're in the same boat.
Right.
That encourages people, right?
That's why.
Yeah. I think
so
that's a good idea.
In Japan, there's so many English teachers who keep saying that making mistakes is okay. So you can make any mistakes, but nobody tries to start this program. Nobody tries to speak English in public on the internet. So that's what I wanted to start. Practice what you preach.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. That made me want to start this program with you guys.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
I think I told you before.
I'm agreeing again.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right.
That's what we're gonna do, and
Okay.
what we're gonna keep doing.
Yeah.
On every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Japan time.
Yes.
So encouraging people, inspiring people, and push them to be exposed to English conversations. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to make any mistakes. So that's my message. That's our message. That is why.
And also, I think here it's okay to, like if you don't understand what somebody says, you can just, sorry, I didn't get it. Just say that again, and you can ask that millions of times.
Just ask back. Just ask back.
Yeah.
Right. So, and thanks for being here. And Tosan, do you want to wrap it up? So, the bottom line is be brave, and it's okay. It's okay to.
What we talked about the many things tonight, but to like make a simple wrap up, I would say, just when conversation is speaking and listening, right? It's a speaking, listening, speaking, listening. So when it comes to speaking, like I said many times, just don't be afraid of making mistakes. And then when it comes to listening, I would say, sometimes when people speak fast and you don't catch it, right? And you feel it's rude to just ask them to say it again, but I think it's totally okay. If you didn't get it, if you're not sure, then you can just ask again, right? So when it comes to listening to people, if you don't catch it, and there's nothing wrong with asking to say it again, right? Yeah.
Sure.
So
and even though you might ask it like 10 times, it's okay to say it again.
Right.
Because sometimes like you can't understand and you ask what? Yeah.
Yeah. So and also another thing is like like us, we should just speak out with our own English, which is what we are doing this program.
Yeah.
So this is the first time of this show, and we talked about many things. Yeah, but I think we should keep on doing this, and have a lot of other people like us join this program, and enjoy using English together.
Enjoy, and making mistakes.
And when people see us making a lot of mistakes, but they're still having fun and communicating.
Right. It's okay. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy making mistakes in a conversation. That's that's our message to the world.
Yeah.
So,
okay. I think it went pretty well for the first time.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So it's time to say goodbye, I think.
Goodbye.
Thank you for being here, Rebecca and Adam.
Yeah, and thank you for inviting me. It was a lot of fun, so.
Thanks so much. Thank you very much.
And I hope to join you guys again. So.
Yes.
Yeah. Come back again in the future.
Yeah.
All right.
I would love that. So.
I don't know how to turn this off.
I'm gonna turn it off. Just waving.
Okay, all right.
Waving.
Waving, hey.